Welcome to Invictus Porsche. We've got a very special 911 to review today. It's not the GT3 RS or this 911 or this speed yellow Boxster. What we've got is this incredibly unique and rare opportunity to purchase this Porsche 911 SC. This is a 3-litre 1979 manufactured, built, delivered to a customer in January 1980s, and this has had a full-on engine rebuild as well as a transmission rebuild, and the whole chassis. We're talking from the front to the back, every nook and cranny of it that you could think of. This car taken to absolute bare metal, and then obviously having this 911 RSR front bumper, the side skirts, and the rear wide conversion that you can see, and you've got the scoops, proper scoops, and they've also been done with steel rather than fiberglass. We've had a look underneath the bonnet, looking at the carpets, etc., and it's in pristine condition. Since its restoration, it's done less than 1,000 miles, and this has been somebody's labor of joy since about 2010, 2011. I mean, thanks to Mr. Crompton, who's literally taken this 911 apart and is giving us this phenomenal, beautiful work of art in terms of a silhouette, but at the same time, from an engineering point of view, everything works on this. I mean, just looking at it aesthetically, what more would you want under those showroom lights? Not 911 GT3 RS or this 911 right here. Quite attention to detail. And it does not get better than this view right here. I mean, we've had this driven now for the 10th time. It's an addictive drive, just a phenomenal soul-seeking experience this is. What I love about what Mr. Crompton's done is to kind of continue having the original stickers. A lot of the time these cars will go through a restoration and people will throw away a lot of the original bits, and the continuity of the red that you find here on the side profile of the vehicle continues on the fan and some of the other mechanical work that's been done. And even just looking all the way into every conceivable corner of this car, this engine bay right here, it's been done to absolute perfections. You sometimes see these kind of cars being done and something that is not in view is not being done to the same level or attention to detail or to quality as something that is in broad daylight view. I think what we need to do next is to actually fire this up and take it out for a spin. And what better way to fire it up than for me to jump into it and do it right away. What I love about it is that it starts first time, every time, and this view, I'm not sure if you can hear me, is out of this world. I mean, the experience to actually see something like this as a work of art, that's one thing, but to actually get behind the wheel and drive it and experience it, is a totally different thing. But if this was, I mean, it is mine, but if this was mine to keep forever, I'd have it in my living room. We're behind the steering wheel. I've got these beautiful gauze red seat belts. It goes in incredibly well into that first, second, third, fourth gear, you name it. Doesn't miss a beat. And it's also got the added benefit of a later entertainment system, so you can actually connect it listening to music or taking some phone calls. I think somewhere here I saw a microphone, but even this is lovely, nice niche detail. The whole purpose of being able to do this experience of driving this is to actually prove to you that this doesn't just look beautiful, it drives fantastically well. And I don't need to be going fast in this. My colleague Adam behind the camera made a really good, interesting point earlier. He says, when you actually compare the performance of this, 1979 G-body Porsche 911 with the 911 SC 3-litre engine, if you were to compare it in today's context, this would be a little bit slower than a Porsche Boxster. And when I read that on our script, it took a minute for that to sink in. I've got these people passing through us, they're looking at this with a smile on their face, thinking, wow, what is this? Well, what this is a 1979 911 SC. It produces, from the 3-litre engine, 185 brake horsepower, 265 Newton meters of torque, and not to 62 miles per hour possible in 6.1 seconds. And if you're wondering what this weighs, this would have weighed 1,200 kilograms. So it's an incredibly light car, but really, you get to this age and time, it's all about the whole ideals of an analog car. It's the point is not to actually drive this fast, drive this hard, but it's to cruise with the windows down, acting as your air conditioning, or in the winter, just the hot air that it normally generates from the underneath being your climate control. We're in third gear, going over to fourth now, and we're just hitting the national speed limit here, doing 60 miles an hour. And what a joy it is to drive this, and still has the character of what I experience in the modern Porsche 911s. Well, the modern Porsche 911s, when you reverse it, are actually based on this, and they still maintain the character and just the whole, ethos and drivability and the experience of what ultimately the classic 911s were all about. And I feel like I've kind of reached my point of destination, and let's just go out and show you a little bit more of the car from the outside. I mean, at some point, I've just got to call it a day. And what I want to be doing is getting my stool to sit right behind this rear wheel tilt and have my dinner off this. And I think ultimately, this is what a car like this deserves. Love, joy, care, where somebody should potentially be able to pass this on to a grandchild eventually. So hopefully I've covered enough in this video to talk to you about this classic 911 SC. It is for sale with us here at Invictus Porsche, Invictus Motors. In terms of paperwork, there's so much to cover on this Porsche 911, and so far you've seen I've spoken about it with so much enthusiasm. I mean, just looking at some of these photographs, forget even this actually. This is the condition, unfortunately, sometimes some of these old classic 911s are. And I know they can sometimes seem like a bargain when you're seeing one listed for £30,000, but you could be spending another 40, 50,000 pounds very easily restoring it, and that doesn't even sometimes mean a full nut and bolt restoration. This has been a labor of love for somebody now for circa 12 years, and the real credit here goes to Mr. Crompton, which I will reference in a minute in the file of paperwork. But that's what it started off with. All the corrosion, you could literally punch through some of the panels, and you could actually see here in these photographs, just to give you an idea how much he had to strip down. And one thing I really, really want to emphasize is the wide arch conversion that's been done on this Porsche 911. They're not fiberglass. It's been properly done with steel, and he's done a fantastic job. And you could even see very early on how that is looking, how it's coming across. And again, credit to Mr. Crompton for doing such a fantastic detailed job. And here you've got the mechanical components where the engine begun its life, as you can see in this photograph. And then it's just obviously been dismantled, worked on, and ultimately taken to a point where it's had that full-on nut and bolt restoration where there was no holding back. And another very important thing on these is the certificate of authenticity. This is the model year, which says 1980 911 SC, tells you the production completion date. Adam and I, we were talking about it a minute ago, that this was built in December 1979, but delivered to its customer, which I'll show you in a minute in the service book. Might as well actually show it to you now. Delivered to its customer on the 11th of January 1980. And that first customer, whose name is right here, Mr. B. Barker. And on the certificate of authenticity, it's got all the matching engine numbers that are currently on that vehicle, because the engine and the gearbox has been rebuilt completely from the ground upwards. It's been rebuilt. It's not been replaced or something else is put onto it. This is still an original, fully restored Resto-Mod Porsche 911. And you could see it was first supplied by Porsche Cars Great Britain. That was the center at the time. And this was the color code it left factory in, the mocha black, with the interior in beige leatherette with, yeah, I won't, try pronouncing that. And then obviously it had the color changed from black to red. And that was done, as you can see, as far back as 10th February 1986. And then where this restoration is actually completed and all the paperwork finalized, from the guards red, which is what you can see here, we don't know the quality of that red color, going from red now to the white, that completed on the 27th of April 2023. So this is when this restoration ultimately completed. And since that completion of this restoration, the mileage, I think it's still very late, 128,000 miles. So it's done roughly 1,000 miles since this restoration, with the fresh new engine, with the fresh new gearbox that's been completed. And if you're wondering why go from the red to the white, the story that I'm told is that Mr. Crompton was getting this ready as a prom car for a family member. And that's the whole idea and the motivation and the enthusiasm behind that conversion to the white color. But the detailing is done so fantastically well. And my colleague and I, my colleague is Adam behind the camera, just looking at that front 911 RSR bumper, we were looking at original photographs of all original 911 RSRs with that front bumper, and it looks absolutely mega. But I think it looks probably as good, if not better, on this, just because of the wide rear arches. I'll go on to this next document right here, and Adam was telling me that this still has that smell of old service book, old paperwork, and that is a rare thing to have. I mean, over there underneath the plastic wallet, I still have that original beige, pouch that all of these paperworks were in. And you flick through it. So firstly, I'll just open it up. This is the driver's manual, 80 maintenance record from Porsche, and this kind of stuff is rare to come by, and we've had classic old Porsches before, and unfortunately, these records are lost over time. It goes through a number of hands and people, and unfortunately, they're no longer kept original. There might be replacement, etc., and you still have the a pocket guide to Porsche ownership, and there's a Porsche service information. You've got some additional information here with Porsche being one of the first companies to sell accessories like watches and, a glass vase that you can see, and handbags, and you name it. So all this is provided with this 911, so you can imagine was given originally to Mr. Barker, and it's continued to be kept on by the subsequent 11 owners. And you've got a 911 SC or the 911 Turbo handbook here, where they're actually showing you and talking you through how a car like this is actually put together. Now, before I actually jump into the file, let me just jump into that right away. Here's a file of all the invoices you could imagine as part of the engine rebuild, as well as other mechanical works, the kidney bean, the kidney panels. You've got invoices here indicating all the work that's been done. Some of the invoices are referencing the wife of Mr. Crompton, and some of them directly to Mr. Crompton. But there's just a lot of paperwork with all the parts he's purchased, everything that's been done to the vehicle over the years. And you've still got original invoices here. This invoice dates back, I think, 27th of July 2012.
It's 82.
Sorry, 82, apologies, 82. Wow, I haven't got my glasses, so. And there's a few more of these kind of invoices as well, isn't it? You've got the old road tax discs. More Porsche invoices as well. And it basically carries on. I mean, this is another detailed invoice as well.
1986, that one.
Yeah. And then you've got the vehicle currently showing HPI cleared. It's not been in an accident or fire damage. And in total, it's got 12 keepers from new. The current owner, Mr. Easter, did not keep this for long. As you can see, he purchased it on the 8th of July 2024, and then he traded it in to us to purchase his dream Honda NSX. And that Honda NSX that we had was once upon a time test driven by Ayrton Senna. So he reached out to us, not looking to sell this Porsche 911 because he was very happy keeping this, but we had something equally as rare and as desirable. And we basically did a deal, and that's how we've ended with this Porsche 911. Hopefully, I've done this video some justice, covering everything you needed to know on this 911. So please don't forget to leave a comment if you've got any questions about this or something you're looking to trade in against this 911. Feel free to give us a call. We'd be happy to answer any of your questions you may have. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye-bye.